Meet a Loon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My soupy Loon.
Yes.
You're so soupy.
The soupy Loon.
Soupy and silly
Yes.
and all of that good
That's
stuff.
so funny.
So guess what we're making today?
Oh, I don't know.
Soup. We're doing soup. It's such the most ultimate comfort food, and we're doing one of my favorite cuisines in the world, Mexican.
Yes.
We're doing our chicken tortilla soup. Yes! Oh, I have loved this soup. I mean, forever.
So
it's
good.
just so comforting. It's so delicious.
Oh, the flavors are just amazing.
It really is, especially
Yes.
when you do it the way we're going to show you how to do it. So let's jump right into this, baby, shall we? Okay, so one of the things we love is when you make a dish, and a lot of things you can do ahead of time. So
Yes.
this is this right here. Let me just kind of put this over here so they can see it. This is a big old thing of homemade chicken broth.
Put it down. There we go.
Put it down. God, I'm so sorry. It's homemade chicken broth. It is the basis of this soup, and as with so many soups, it's really what makes it from mediocre, takes it from mediocre to spectacular.
Yeah, over the top.
We've got the recipe. It's easy to do. I made this a few nights ago. Actually, I make it all the time. Freeze it. But anyway, that's really key. So another important thing, the soup is really layered with garnishes. So you want to garnish it with whatever you like. But one of our favorite things right here, these are Ancho Chilis. And Ancho Chilis, what they are, they're dried poblano peppers. And so poblanos, we use them in chili rellenos, and they don't have a ton of heat. They've got a little bit of heat, and when they're dried, I think they hardly have any heat at all. So what I do is I just get one, and I get some scissors, and I just cut that stem off, and then you're gonna just use your fingers just to open it up, and you'll see there's some seeds in there, and that's where those seeds do have just a little bit of heat. Plus, you don't want the seeds, in your soup. So do your best to get rid of those, and clean those out. And then you're gonna get a skillet about this size. Well, no, this size right here is perfect. And then you're going to put it over medium-high heat. No need to add any oil or anything. And you're just gonna put that pepper that you've opened up flat in there. Kind of use a pair of tongs to help press it. And it doesn't take long. It starts you smell this kind of aromatic smell of the pepper. It's great. What that does is it just kind of livens it up. Now, if you really wanted to bring it back to life, you'd soak it in some warm water, but we don't need to do that. These are just like, it's a little topping that you're going to add to the soup that just adds a depth.
Give me those. Those ain't chos.
That ain't show joke. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to talk about what's over here by the Loon. This is one of those soups that we are using a few different kind of contraptions here. We're using a blender, but you could use a food processor, but this is what really adds this depth of flavor that can't be beat. So we've got in there, down at the bottom, we've got some roasted tomatoes. I took 4 Roma tomatoes. No need to peel them. You just slice them in half. I put them on a baking sheet that was lined with foil for easy cleanup. And I just sprinkled a little bit of olive oil over that, and then sprayed a little of olive oil, and then a little salt and pepper. Just hit it just to flavor it, and then you're going to put it in your oven that's been preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to roast them. And by roasting them, what that does is it just concentrates that flavor. It cooks them down. It gets them nice and soft.
So good.
Oh, it's the best. We use roasted tomatoes in our roasted tomato and basil soup that is crazy good too.
Just amazing.
Okay, so that's the tomatoes. So now, so then we've got we need to do a similar sort of technique for onions and garlic.
Onions, look at those.
So I've got one nice-sized onion that I quartered. You don't have to you don't have to chop it too much. And then I added 4 cloves of garlic, and that's in the same pan you used. In the same pan, and it's okay if you've got some of the remnants from the pepper. It all goes together. It's great. Fabulous. So I added a tablespoon of olive oil to that over medium-high heat. You want to crank the heat pretty high, and then we're going to dump those onions and that garlic in there, and then just let that cook on high, stirring it frequently for probably anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes until it really starts. And those onions are going to start to, the layers are going to start to come apart a little bit, which is what you want, and it's going to start to brown, and they really cook down, and it's basically like you're kind of roasting them in your skillet. Okay, so now we've added I use a spatula just to add the tomatoes to the blender, and then I carefully, with the help of the Loon, dump those onions in there. And now the Loon's
and the garlic. Don't forget about the garlic.
The onion and the garlic, and the Loon's got a power tool. So now we're going to puree it. Puree it.
Wow.
Hooray for puree. Okay, that is great. That's beautiful.
Let me just see if I can show these guys. You'll see them over there. Over there, though. Look at that.
That looks amazing.
That's amazing.
Okay,
It's
so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this into. Go ahead and pour this into the skillet.
Yes, this is the basis of this amazing soup.
It is. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to crank the heat up on this, and we're going to cook this until some of the liquid kind of comes out and it becomes almost like a paste, and that's about 10 minutes, and then we're going to show you how we're going to finish building this soup.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the smell! I love the smell
That is
of.
really pasty.
I know. So it's going to cook down, and it's going to, you're going to.
You look really pasty.
Well, thanks. I've been standing over steam for 3 hours. No, for 10 minutes. So anyway, okay. So now what you see, what this does is it's just going to act as kind of like a thickener for this beautiful broth that we're putting in here.
Wow, slow it down.
Okay. Now, one thing I was going to say, with that base that we just did, sometimes people will strain it. What you could do is, because like I said, there are the skins from the tomatoes, and you'll see like some of the ancho that's still in there. That's perfectly fine to do that. I just like a little bit of the texture that's left behind, but if you want a really silky, super smooth soup, then I would recommend going ahead and straining it through a really fine mesh sieve, through a sieve. Okay, so now we're gonna add some cilantro. This is 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped cilantro.
All right.
And then we're gonna season it with a little bit of salt. Now, you remember the rule, don't overdo it. I usually do about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then taste it to see if we think we need a little more. And then we got about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And now,
Fabulous.
now we're gonna talk about the chicken. It's chicken tortilla soup, right? We haven't gotten to the tortillas yet. We hadn't gotten to the chicken, but now we're saving the two.
Now you know why it's called chicken tortilla.
So now here's a little trick that I do. I just put a chicken breast, it's a skinless, boneless chicken breast, right in here. This is really getting close. All this has to do now is simmer for another 30 minutes, and then the soup is going to be ready to eat. And what happens is it cooks that chicken just perfectly. 30 minutes is really all it needs. And then we're going to take it out and we're going to shred it. We're going to add it back in. I don't like, this soup is just good, sort of just as a basic, almost like brothy kind of soup. It doesn't need a ton of embellishments. But if you want more chicken than that, then you could certainly do a couple of breasts.
The broth is just amazing.
The broth is it's so heartwarming. Okay, so now let's
look at these bad boys.
Again, it's called tortilla soup, and here are the tortillas.
Yes.
So what we did, these are just fried tortilla strips. It's so easy.
Corn tortillas.
Corn tortillas. So get yourself either yellow or a white corn tortillas that we just get them from the supermarket. And then what I do is I just get like a knife or even a pizza cutter and just cut them into little strips like that. And then if you've got a deep fryer, great, you can just throw them into the deep fryer. That only takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes.
350?
Oh, sorry, yes, at 350.
Okay.
If you don't have a deep fryer, no problem. Just get like a cast iron skillet or something that you can put just like a little layer of oil in there.
So
It doesn't
these
take
get
much.
a little submerged.
Yeah, and you'll know when it's hot. You can do the little bread test. Toss a little piece of bread in there. If it browns within 30 seconds, it's good. If it catches on fire, it's too hot.
It's too hot.
Yeah, you maybe want to turn down the heat.
Yes.
Okay, and then what we do is then we just transfer those to a paper towel, hit them with a little salt, and then set them aside.
Yeah.
Until we're ready to go.
Yes.
So I think I have talked my face off enough. And this is already smelling so good, it's crazy. And then we're ready to plate, or to bowl. This is one of the best smells.
Oh, it is so
Isn't
good.
that beautiful? All right, so let me tell you, see that chicken in there? It's just so, it's so fabulous. So what I did,
love that.
I know. So after 30 minutes, and that chicken also, it kind of imparts a little more flavor to the soup.
Yes.
So then I just, I got a pair of tongs, I removed the breast, and then I got 2 forks, and I just started to shred it, and it really shreds very easily. And then you want to put it back into the soup and let it simmer for really just another 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to let it really heat through.
So good.
And folks, we are ready to. Isn't that
Yes.
beautiful? It looks like it's like the color of like a Mexican sunset.
I love it.
It's just so beautiful.
Because it's a Mexican sunset's so different than a regular
It is. Have you
sunset.
not been to Mexico lately? I mean,
Not lately, no.
Well, I know. No, we haven't been anywhere except for our kitchen lately. All right.
Now be careful. Don't be going
I know.
80 miles an hour.
We got bowls the size of like giant Montana of Mexico. Okay, so that's great. All right, these are huge. So look. See what I love about that is you want just a little. You don't want anything to over dominate the soup, and so that's why I don't overdo it with the chicken. It's all about. And when I first started making this years ago, I did it without chicken. I just think that the soup, the broth, is so flavorful by itself.
Yeah.
But then I started, let's try it with the chicken.
Throw the chicken in there.
Yeah, it is.
But
really,
the by itself too was so good.
It really is.
Because we just like slurp on that all day on a cold day.
Yes, we slurped on it. Yeah.
All right, here's the soup. Look at that.
All
and
right.
now I'm going to throw on my tortillas.
Yes, which at some point you are going to add tortillas to your tortilla soup, aren't you?
Yes. I just love to throw them in there.
So
like
good. It's just and
If
it's
you wanna
it's
throw some in yours,
Yes, and it's a fun soup to serve, and people can.
Now, I like to throw on my avocado.
So this is sliced avocado is a very, very
Yes,
popular.
there we go. Look at
so
how
I'm going to
cute
put a
that
little
is.
on mine. Let's see if we can do this in under 4 hours. Okay.
Cute.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Now some tortilla cheese. Cojita.
No, it's not. It's not tortilla. That you could use that. That's great. This is any kind of a crumbly Mexican cheese. This is just a queso fresco. Tortilla is great.
delicious.
You could also just use good old Monterey Jack too. But I love this kind of crumbly. It's almost like the
good.
Mexican version
And
of
now
feta.
I'm adding these wonderful little tidbits of ancho chili.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
They just add this beautiful
Totally.
flavor. Now I'm going to give you just a little more garnish
Perfect.
of cilantro.
I love cilantro. I'm not one of those people that have that gene that makes it taste
They think
like
it tastes
soap.
like, yeah, right, I know. So if you don't like cilantro, feel free to skip it, leave it out.
Exactly. You guys, look at how
beautiful-
gorgeous that is. Oh, you know what?
I just have a passion for this soup. I just,
I'm gonna use my finger. Sorry. I'm gonna get a little bit of everything, Chris.
you can use one of these tortillas as a little
As a
scooper.
scooper. Here we go.
Okay. I'm always so jealous. It's the ultimate comfort, right? I mean, soup just in general is comforting, but there is just something, it's so warm and delicious.
Oh, it is so good.
You just feel like you got a warm afternoon.
Oh
around
yes,
you.
it's so. The flavors are so. They're like I want to say kind of like a spicy, but it's not spicy.
Not spicy.
At all. But it's got that really warm, just. I don't know. It's so. And of course the chicken stock, the homemade chicken stock.
The homemade chicken, really does make a huge difference.
It's the
It's the
onions
roasting,
and the tomatoes
it's the
and the
roasting
garlic.
of that,
Oh.
and then the ancho adds a little bit
Oh,
of.
wow.
I did want to say, if you do want to add some spice to this, when you're roasting your tomatoes, you could roast a jalapeno pepper on there, and that would be good too.
Oh, it is
But
so
I
good.
think
And then
this
a little bit of the cilantro in here. Oh. Oh, it is so good, y'all. I'm sorry. I just want to lift it up and go.
well, don't,
Wow,
because-
that
Yeah.
is 1,000% Loon approved.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, I love it! I love it! I love
This
it!
soup is so good, you guys. It's so perfect. And this avocado just adds a little bit
the
of
coolness,
freshness to it. Or freshness.
It's a refreshingly fresh taste.
Isn't that wonderful?
And the thing, okay.
I love
So to
these.
make the broth or the stock, that takes a little time, but do that way in advance.
Yeah.
And you can get good quality broth, of course, or stock. But when you saw how quickly it was to put it together, it didn't take a long time. And this tastes like something you get at like your favorite Mexican restaurant.
This is top notch. This is amazing.
Well, thanks.
All right, I gotta stop eating this.
No, you don't.
Now you can get this recipe and many more on howtofeedaloon.com.
Soup.
Sorry, I'm right here.
Soup brings people together. It just makes you feel so good.
Totally.
So go to our social media, bringing people together. Bring people to How to Feed a Loon. You want to do that? Because we would love it. Share. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Make soup. This tortilla soup is
Just soup.
Oh,
and
well,
make
what about
some.
these?
Oh, I know. Those are the best. I love a little crunch in my tortilla soup. I love it. Put them in a jar and give them and leave on the doorstep of your neighbors. How much fun would that be?
It would be a lot of fun. All right, we gotta go. Adios, y'all.
Bye. Adios.
We love you. Hey, everybody.
Hi guys! Now if you want to be a part of the Loon Fun, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you won't miss a single recipe.
That's right. Oh, and speaking of recipes, if you want another amazing Tex-Mex Mexican restaurant like this,
Yes.
just click right here.
That's right. Click.
Oh, click.
Subscribe.
It's so much fun.